Welcome back. I'm Derek Rangel with Sentinel Realty Partners, broker owner, and we are a probate real estate firm. In this segment, I want to touch on the requirements about when an offer can be accepted in probate. Now, in a probate, the main thing is that you understand the rules of noticing. There's not much difference if you publish in the newspaper or you have to send a notice of proposed action. The key thing is that, and a lot of people get themselves into this. It's a predicament, really, because when there's not good communication, when you don't know, or the agent you hired doesn't know when they need to be telling the attorney of certain events after they've been hired. So let's assume you hire an agent correctly, you've got letters issued, and then you list a property. What goes wrong is an agent may have a buyer he may have been talking to an estate for a couple of months, and he comes in, lists the property, and boom, right out of the gate, you have a cash offer or you have an offer that's agreeable to you. Now, the problem with that is if the agent doesn't know to ask for the valid acceptance date based on whether it requires a newspaper publication or a notice of proposed action, then it's very, very easy for you to accept an offer prior to that notice period expiring. Now, if you had to confirm a sale in court, the probate attorneys, and these are the people that are supporting the judge in reviewing documents on probate matters, a probate attorney will stop that in its tracks, and he will issue a note in the probate notes directed to the attorney that the publication for that sale is not good, which means that if you accepted an offer and 15 days didn't pass, because the rules for publication are it's got to be in the paper 3 times for 5 days, 3 times 15 days, or on notice of proposed action, the notice period begins on the date it's mailed and then carries forward 15 days, but all of those are delineated by the attorney. And so if your acceptance date is inside of that period expiring, it has to complete the 15 days. So if you signed and accepted an offer before that notice period past 15 days, your acceptance isn't any good to the court. That's a non-confirmable situation. Now, the question that the person you hire needs to be asking is, based on the authority you have, do you have a waiver of notice? Do you have a publication? Or do you have a notice of proposed action? Those are the 3 things, the 3 possibilities. And what's important is if you accept an offer and the buyer doesn't care if you did your job right or not, or if the agent did their job right or not. The buyer wants the property. So if the buyer potentially is going to buy the property and now he can't be delivered the property because you don't have a confirmable sale or a date, the alternative is he has to sit there and do that again, or you can beg to the judge that, the publication should bring people here. So, because we, accepted an offer in 10 days instead of 15, the publication still served its purpose, as does the notice to confirm the sale. But the rules are the rules. They're there for a reason. And so when you're choosing the person with whom you want to hire to sell the property, they need to know these things. Because if they don't, what also happens is, so when you retain your attorney, there's 2 categories that they can bill on. One are statutory fees, which have only to do with administering the probate on your behalf. And the other are extraordinary fees. So if there's something like this that happens and you cause the attorney to have to do something that's outside of the norm, but which accepting an offer out of compliance would be outside of the norm, you're going to get billed his hourly rate to fix that problem you created. So we're here to offer our services to you. We want you to be confident in, if you choose us, that we do know how to communicate the proper things to the attorneys at the right time based on, when these things need to get done. And we have a checklist, more importantly, that makes sure we ask these questions so that mistakes like this do not happen. So with that, this is a copy on the right of an actual notice of sale. And you can see one of the components is who the realtor is if they're already hired. But this verbiage here where it says on or after the 25th day of September 2019. So it's very specific that this has to be put out that way. So if there was a bidder and there was an acceptance and the bidder didn't have an opportunity to bid and it was out of compliance, that could cost the agent his listing. It could add a lot of expenses for the attorneys correcting that snafu that the agent allowed to happen, because it's honestly the agent's responsibility. We do this every day. You don't. We should know better. Our job is to inform you of what the requirements are and then to make sure that we do them, fulfill on them. So we welcome conversations about this stuff. We are very passionate about selling probate real estate and getting it done the right way. And we would love to have a conversation with you and help you and your estate come to a quick conclusion. And so you guys can get back to your lives. So once again, thank you for listening to our message. We hope you have a blessed day and take good care. Bye-bye.